Right, let's think about what we actually need in terms of our form elements. Let's go back to the spec and let's just write them down here based on reading through the requirements. Okay, so the charity is looking for donations. Okay, so we're going to need a donation. And let's just make a number list here. Okay, so that's the first thing there. Going on the spec. This may not be the order in which we're going to design the form, but let's find out the data we need first. Okay, from anywhere in the world. Okay, so that sort of suggests country. Right, are we looking for an address? Well, maybe. Let's come back to that. Donations are to be accepted using credit cards or debit cards. Okay, so there's two things here. What type of card, and then the CC number. And I suppose we could put in as well, if we wanted, the expiry date and also the 3 numbers at the back. Okay, valid password and confirm password. Okay, so there's 6 so far. If a valid donation has been made, the donor's first name. Okay, so we need the donor's first name. Let's just put name in here for a minute. We'll probably keep the whole name, go to a database, but the first name is appearing on the list here, on the requirements. Okay, and at a later time, someone from the charity will both email and phone. Okay, so we need an email address and phone number. Okay, so the person is not going to be have a letter sent to them. Okay, so that would imply we don't need the address, but we need the country because we know that phone number needs a country international code. Okay, so maybe country code is a better thing to do there. Okay, so we've got 9 things there we need. 9 pieces of information we need for the form to be filled out. Okay, so 9 form elements. So we're going to have to think about what is the best way to do this. Which of these pieces of information have actually got a limited valid range of possible data. Country code, for example, there's a finite number of countries. Types of credit card, there's only a finite number of credit cards. And when there's only a finite number of values, then you sort of need to hone in a bit and say, are there loads of finite values or only a few finite values? Are there loads of countries or only a few countries? Are there loads of credit card types or only a few credit card types? Credit card numbers, 16 digits. Typically, that's an awful lot of numbers. So I wouldn't be putting that in a selection list already, but okay. Okay, so some of them should be jumping out at you as text boxes, some as maybe number text boxes, email text boxes, password text boxes, and so on. Okay, there should be plenty of helpful information available for completing each form element. So let's take an example of a possible website. Okay, here's a page here. Certainly nothing much to write home about. We've got this sort of article area here, article tag, main tag, where we've got all our form elements. Okay, so we want to help the user put in the right amount of information. Now, issue with placeholder, you can often not have enough space to actually type in the information. So for example, down here, credit card number, each credit card has got a different range of numbers, so you can't possibly put all that information in here. But one approach would be that when you put the mouse over the label, you get some information appearing. So for example, there. Okay, so we're looking for at least 5 characters. Take the pointer away from the label, the helpful information disappears. It appears here and here as well. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to tell the user that the password must have a certain strength in it. Okay, at least 9 characters, including at least 1 uppercase letter, at least 2 numbers, and 1 character from @ hash or underscore. So these are things we might want to do. We could try that using HTML pattern regular expressions, which would be quite complicated. Confirmed password must be the exact same as a valid password. Okay, and similarly there, you must pick a country, and we saw in our discussion earlier that because we're not looking for an address here, the country is going to be related to the phone number here. Okay, so phone number as well. You must pick a country before the phone number field is enabled. Okay, so if you notice here, this text box is grayed out here, and the reason it's grayed out here is because I haven't picked a country. Okay, first option is picked, but it doesn't have a value. Okay, it's just value equals open close quotation marks. So once you pick a country, you can see that this value appears here, and then we can type a number in there. Okay, we'll come back to that shortly. Your donation amount, okay, notice here, number text box. Okay, so you have to type in a number greater than 0. You're donating money, so you can't donate 0, up to $1 million. Okay, credit card type, you have to pick credit card type before you can type a number in. Okay, so this all kind of flows. Think about it from our list here. On a form, you would not be putting the donation amount in first. Okay, you'd be putting the name in first, and then probably email address and so on. Okay, there's no right answers here. It's just what we're used to: name, email, password, probably phone number, donation amount, and then this is also related. So these 3 fields kind of go together: how much money, what card are you using, and what's the card's number. And you could put expiry date in here as well if you wanted, and the 3 numbers on the back. But let's just keep it as bare as possible for the moment. Okay, so you can see that lots of helpful information is going to appear over here. Okay, so once you pick a valid, once you pick a credit card type here, you can see this appears up here. This number text box gets bigger. Okay, and some helpful information here is in the placeholder, and you get more information in there. Okay, so you can see here that credit card numbers can have different numbers of digits, and they start with different numbers. Okay, so that is something to be wary of. Now, this is kind of a little bit simplified here for some of these credit card types, and I've just kept it down to 4 just so we can sort of fit it neatly on a page. Okay, so that is the helpful information coming up. Okay, so in the next video I will go through some of these form elements in detail in terms of validation.